Once there was a young man named Leo who lived in a small town. From the outside, Leo seemed like any other person, but inside, he carried a heavy burden. He didn't believe in himself. Every day, he would look in the mirror and see only his flaws. His shoulders slumped under the weight of his own doubts. He avoided speaking up in conversations, fearing others would judge him. He turned down opportunities, convinced he would fail. Leo's lack of confidence held him back from living the life he truly wanted. One evening, while walking home, Leo noticed an old bookstore he had never entered before. The sign above the door read, "Wisdom for the seeking." Something about it called to him. Pushing open the creaky door, he was greeted by the scent of old paper and quiet stillness. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with kind eyes, nodded at him without a word. Leo wandered the aisles until a small, worn book caught his eye. Its title was simple, Letters to Seneca. Curious, Leo opened the book and began to read. The pages contained ancient letters written by the philosopher Seneca, filled with advice on courage, self-worth, and the art of living well. One passage stood out to him. "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces difficulty, for he is not permitted to prove himself." These words struck Leo deeply. He realized he had been avoiding challenges because he feared failure. But what if failure was the very thing that could make him stronger? That night, Leo made a decision. He would no longer let fear control him. He would learn to trust himself, step by step. The next morning, he stood in front of his mirror again, but this time, instead of focusing on his flaws, he spoke aloud. Enough." The words felt strange at first, but he repeated them every day. Slowly, they began to take root in his mind. Leo knew that confidence wasn't built overnight, so he started with small actions. He forced himself to greet strangers, even if his voice shook. He volunteered to speak first in meetings, even if his hands trembled. Each time he faced his fear, he felt a little stronger. He also began keeping a journal, writing down every small victory, no matter how insignificant it seemed. Over time, the pages filled with proof of his progress. One day, his boss announced an important project at work. In the past, Leo would have stayed silent, but this time he raised his hand. "I'll lead it," he said. The room fell quiet. His coworkers looked surprised, but his boss nodded in approval. The project wasn't easy. There were setbacks, moments of doubt, but Leo refused to give up. He remembered Seneca's words, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." As weeks passed, Leo noticed something remarkable. The more challenges he faced, the less fear controlled him. His confidence wasn't about never feeling afraid. It was about moving forward despite the fear. He began to see mistakes not as proof of failure, but as lessons. He stopped comparing himself to others and focused instead on his own growth. One evening, Leo returned to the old bookstore. The shopkeeper smiled as he entered. "You've changed," the old man said simply. Leo nodded. He placed the letters to Seneca back on the shelf. He no longer needed it. The wisdom was now a part of him. Leo's journey wasn't perfect. There were still days when doubt crept in, but now he knew how to face it. Confidence, he had learned, wasn't a gift given to a lucky few. It was built through action, through persistence, through the choice to believe in oneself even when it felt impossible. And so, Leo continued forward, no longer the man who shrank from life, but one who walked with his head held high, knowing that true strength comes not from never falling, but from rising every time you do. The story of Leo is the story of all of us. Confidence and self-esteem are not about being fearless. They are about recognizing that fear does not have to be the end of your journey. It can be the beginning. Every challenge you face, every small step you take, is a brick in the foundation of your confidence. So start where you are. Speak even if your voice shakes. Try even if you might fail. Remember Seneca's wisdom. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. it is because we do not dare that they are difficult. The path to confidence is built one step at a time, and the first step is always yours to take.